Hey guys, it's Miss Wiesner, and this is our beginning lesson for our next unit on inequalities. And we've worked with inequalities before when they're used for comparison, the greater than and the less than symbol. And some of you have seen it, and some of you have actually graphed inequalities in Success Maker. So you may remember some of this. But we'll be also solving inequalities, much like we do equations. So this is our next unit, and let's get started. First, this just tells you what an inequality is, gives you the definition. It's a comparison of values to determine if one is greater than, less than, or simply not equal to another value. So you probably have not used not equal to very often, but we will in our unit. But this definition doesn't cover two more because we're basically not going to be just looking at comparing two number values. We'll be looking at unknown values, of course, and using variables. So an inequality also includes greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. So this one here is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and this is the not equal to, and this is reading that from left to right. So if you have whatever numbers on this side is less than the number on this side. Okay, so left to right. Okay, so when writing inequalities, we're not going to be given like 2 is less than 3. And we can write that pretty easily, but it's when we have unknown parts of it, and so that's what we're going to be working with today. So it says the amount of money I have is less than $78. Now, you don't know how much money I have. All I'm saying, I'm giving you a little bit of the information, and it's not a lot of information, but I'm giving it to you, and I'm telling you that the amount of money I have is less than. That is a clue here, is less than. Now, you can use whatever variable you want to use. You can use M for money. And then what number am I working with? Well, the amount of money that is even mentioned here is 78. Whoops. So the amount of money I have is less than 78. Well, do I have $78? No, I don't have $78. Could I have $77.99? Yes. So can I have $80? No, I cannot have 80. So as long as it's less than 78, I'm okay. So M, this is how you would write the inequality. M is less than 28. So the amount of money I have is anything, any amount of money, even change, like, in cents, is less than 78. And you can put the dollar sign there, probably helps, because there are some constraints to this because they're called compound inequalities. I'm not going to deal with those very much, but we know that I can't have a negative amount of money. Well, yeah, I could. Never mind. I could be in debt and owe people everything and just be miserable, but that's another story, another lesson. Okay, so another example. We'll look through this. You should be taking notes, but as far as writing all of these out, as far as the sentences go, I will give you a copy of this and post it on Google Classroom, but I do want you to jot down the inequalities because that's nothing but like 3 things that you have to write down. So you need to get used to that. A law clerk has earned more than $20,000 since being hired. Use C and write an inequality for the situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a clue. I'm going to look for a key phrase or word or whatever that's going to help me determine which one I'm going to use. And that is more than. Now, another thing I'm going to do, and it doesn't matter which one you do first, is they want us to write C. So I'm going to write down C, and then the amount of money is 20,000. Now, I have to think about which inequality symbol am I going to be using. It says more than. So the amount of money that she has earned is more than 20,000. And I'm going to make a note to myself that it's not 20,000, it's more than that. So it could be $20,000 and 1 penny. And that still would work. It's more than that. So going from left to right, that would be the symbol that goes there. Because that's the greater than symbol, more than. Okay, this one you can do, and then so you can pause it and come back and see if you got it right. If you want to write this down, you can. It's not going to take you long. The number of flowers that will be planted in the yard will be fewer than 21. So you can use whatever variable you want to use. Usually you use the letter of whatever it is that you're talking about. So here we're talking about the number of flowers. So you could use F. But if you want to stick with, W because you want it to stand for Wiesner because you miss me so much, that's fine too. I'm just kidding. But you can make it whatever letter you want except for, ones that can be mistaken for numbers. So come back and check and see if you got it right. Now, when you're looking at this, it says fewer than. So that's going to let me know that it's not going to be 21. And you might be wondering why I keep saying that, but it's going to make a lot of difference later on. But it's fewer than 21. It could be 20. Okay, and you might say, well, you can't plant half of a flower, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to take the information we're given, and we're going to make an inequality out of it. So it says fewer than, so that's that way. So F is less than 21. Put a box around it. Done and done. Okay, this example says the unknown number is at most 25. Write this as an inequality. So I have an unknown number, so I can make whatever variable it is that I want. I'm going to make it the unknown number. You can make it U if you want to. You can make it N. You can make it X. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use N. And then 25 is my number. Now, the clue here is at most 25. Okay, so think about what that means. The unknown number is at most 25. So could it be 26? No, if at most it's 25, then it can't be 26. So I'm looking at numbers that are less than 25, but you need to ask yourself, can it be 25? And in this case, yes, it says at most 25. So the unknown number is at most, so it's less than or equal to 25. That means it includes the 25 and all numbers that are lower than that. Okay, because it can be at most this. Can't be any more than that. That's the block. You can't go past that. Okay, here's one for you to do. The speed of a truck must be no less than 42 miles per hour. So to keep it consistent, let's all use T. I usually put a little curl on my T so it doesn't look like a plus. So let's use T. And then we'll come back and see if you got it right. Okay, so the speed of the truck. Now, my number is 42. Now, let's look at the clue. It says must be no less than 42. Think about what that means. No less than 42. Can it be 40? No, because it said no less than 42. So that is the stopping point. You can't go beyond 42. But ask yourself, can it be 42? It just says that the speed can be no less than 42, but can it be 42? Yes. And anything higher, obviously, within reason. If you go too fast, you're going to get caught. So T must be greater than or equal to 42 because it includes 42. Now this is, you might see speed limit signs on the highway that says maximum speed. Obviously that's the speed limit. And then it will say minimum speed because there's people like to say, and I find some truth in it, that it's not the people driving fast that cause the accidents, it's the people that are driving too slow. And that could honestly be true. So sometimes there's minimum speed limits, so you can't go slower than like 42 or 40 or whatever it is in this case. But this one was the speed of the truck must be no less than 42 miles per hour. So it has to be greater than or equal to 42. All right, we're going to do some examples of real life where you see inequalities in the real world, and we'll start graphing these, and it'll get easier, I hope.